this time the focus was on Jayalalitha's disproportionate assets case, that everyone did not look carefully at yet another offence that Justice Kumaraswamy has actually recorded in his verdict on page 133. It says, and I quote, 5 girls aged between 10 and 15 years and 2 boys were employed to do domestic work for a paltry sum of 200 rupees per month at Post Garden. According to law, this is a punishable offence which carries a jail term of not less than 3 months and a maximum of 1 year. Ironically, just yesterday, the Child Labour Amendment Bill had been passed. This is what the verdict says while referring to a party at Jayalalitha's Post Garden residence to celebrate the birthday of Sasikala's relative Vivekanandan. It says that there were 5 girls and 2 boys doing domestic work at Post Garden. The girls were aged between 10 and 15 years. These minors were paid a measly 200 rupee salary per month. Let's get a word from Shresha Reddy, our correspondent who's with us live this evening. Shresha, any clarification coming in from the AIA, DMK, and how are child rights activists responding to this?
Well, Simi, yes, of course, we have been talking to child rights activists who have been telling us, according to the Act 1986, which is the Child Labour Regulation and Prevention Act, one cannot employ, and it has been violated as far as this particular case is concerned. And as a government servant and also as a person like Jayalalitha, shouldn't have violated something like this, because though her term was between 91 and 96, she had violated this. And if the Chief Minister of the state itself violates something like this, a serious offence, in fact, is been coming from, and child rights activists are in fact aghast about entire thing, because how can Chief Minister of the state go ahead employing these people between 10 and 15 years of age, and also they were like about 7 people who were working, 5 girls and 2 boys, and they were paid meager amount of 200 rupees per month. So that was the salary, which was even lesser than they had paid the security services. And this is page number 1 to 133, and as you read, it clearly says that there are 5 girls between 10 and 15 and 2 boys to do domestic work, and they were paid just 200 rupees per month, which amounts to a serious violation of the Child Labour and the Prevention Act.
Absolutely a shocking incident being reported from inside the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister's residence, and the judge obviously taking note of that and mentioning that there were 5 children between the age of 5 and 15 who were found doing domestic work at Jayalalitha's residence. Shresha, also tell us any reaction from political parties there in Tamil Nadu?
Well, not yet, Simi. We have been trying to talk to them, because the news a while ago we were talking to child rights activists. They said that they will have to look into the details, because nobody has actually gone through the word by word of this entire verdict, and this appears on the 133rd page. So one has to. They have not got into details. When we actually told them that this is what has been listed, they said they cannot do this, and it's a violation of the Child Labour and the Prevention Act, and they will have to look into this entire verdict and judgment and go through it, and then they'll be able to comment on it. We will get their reaction in a short while from now, Simi.
Right, and Shresha, did Justice Kumaraswamy take suo motu cognizance of this, or was a complaint filed?
Well, there is no complaint as such being filed, but however, child rights activists have been telling us that they might get into the details of this particular verdict and see if they can do something about this, because whatever the acts that were passed before 91 and 96 will be, can be applied as far as this particular case is concerned, because this had happened between 91 and 96. So that is one of the reasons that why the Child Rights Labour and the Prevention Act 1986 can be applied in this particular case. So yes, the child rights activist will go through it and probably file a legal complaint on this particular matter.
Right, and Shresha, if statements of these children who were employed as child labourers have to be recorded, are activists in touch with them? Have they been identified? Does anyone know where they are?
Well, Simi, as we were the ones who were giving information to the child rights activists, in fact, because as I said, this appears on the 133rd page of the judgment. So they really have not gone through the details of this particular, and as we told them, the news that this has appeared on the 133rd page, where about 7 girls and boys were employed at Jayalalitha's Poets Garden residence between the age 10 and 15, and that's when they took cognizance of this, and they said that they cannot do this, not only according to the act, but also as a government servant, one cannot do this. And what kind of a message is being sending to the larger audience? And if the Chief Minister of the state can herself do something like this, then what is the message? What is the message that she is sending to the people of her state is what the question that was raised by the child rights activists. They will, of course, get into the details of this particular case and perhaps take action on what has been mentioned on this 133rd page of the verdict that was delivered day before yesterday.
Absolutely, Shesha, and there has to be a record of the number of employees working at the Chief Minister's residence, considering that it's one of the most secured areas in Tamil Nadu.
Well, that's right, Simi. There was, of course, the details of number of people who are working, but what is alarming is that there were a particular number of girls and boys who were employed at her residence, and it also includes 5 girls and 2 boys, and they were employed for domestic work. In fact, they were helpers along with those other domestic workers, because Poets Garden, the residence, in fact, has more than 15 security guards, and it has 11 cars which had garage inside this particular Poets Garden residence. So it's a huge premises. So yes, of course, there were a lot of people who were employed there, and especially these 7 children who were also employed along with those maids who were working there. So that is one of the reasons that why even the number of girls and boys who were working there, their names have the number of people who are working there have been mentioned along with these children who were also working there in this particular house of Jayalalitha.
Shesha, thanks so much for that update. We're going to keep coming back to you for more. We'll also try and get reactions from different political parties, especially the opposition DMK, which is likely to react. Of course, no clarification coming in from the AIA DMK as yet. Shocking details that are coming to light out of that verdict that was delivered in the disproportionate assets case. The judge also observed that there were 7 young children, 7 minors who had been employed for domestic work at the Chief Minister's residence. This is an offence and carries a punishment